got about 3 minutes of that. Saul?
3 minutes. Well, I'd like to turn your attention to taxes. Specifically, there was a study recently that found that American companies, American corporations, were paying 18.5% of their profits in taxes, not the nominal 35% rate.
We have the second lowest effective.
There's more numbers I want to throw out to you. In the 50s, corporations accounted for approximately, paid in taxes approximately 6% of GDP back in the 60s. It currently is sitting at around 1%. There was an article in the New York Times that gave an example of the kinds of windfalls that are occurring, which are involved with stock options. What corporations would do is they would give their top people stock options. As the price of the stock rose, they would get to take the tax deduction. And that's how, in part, companies like Boeing, General Electric, a whole bunch of them avoided paying, not only avoided paying taxes, but actually got money back. So the bottom line question is, what proposals do you have specifically to have U.S. corporations pay their fair share?
Okay. It's not just U.S. corporations, it's also people at the highest end of the income level. You could probably pull together stats exactly like that from 50s and 60s going forward and come up with just as alarming stats for the people over $500,000. So I think you got to do both. I think you have to dramatically reform the tax code to get rid of those deductions and write-offs that enable people to bring down the level of taxes to that level. That's why, I mean, corporations are running around saying that we have the highest corporate tax rate in America. And in terms of what the rate is, yes, it's the highest, but they're not paying that. Okay? They're saying, you know, you got to bring it down to 25. You know, I'd be happy to bring it down to 25 because it's 18. All right? So you're actually bringing it up. You got to get rid of all those write-offs and all the deductions and all the creative crap that they do, and then they'll derive their taxes. I support very aggressive tax reform to go after all of that as the way to get that revenue. Look, I want to see the Bush tax cuts expire, but I think that would be a missed opportunity if that's all we did. We have to reform the tax code so that corporations and people at the high end get back to paying something close to at least the percentage they paid in the 90s. And I think there's a way to do that more fairly. Now, if the best we can do is simply stop the extension of the Bush tax cuts, then I'll take it. But I think there's a real opportunity here to reform the code to go after exactly those sorts of injustices.
Is there enough Republican support to do that?
Okay, one word.
And we're just spinning our wheels.
Well, no, we're making a statement of principle, and I think we need to hammer that argument throughout this election cycle.
Yes.
That what they want is not good for the country. We need to make the argument. You can't.
Yes.
I mean, look, if you look at politics and say, oh, we don't have the votes, I mean, you wouldn't do anything. You got to get the votes by making the argument.